Imagine prisoners that have spent their entire lives chained deep inside a cave. They have been chained so that they cannot see behind themselves, and they are forced to stare endlessly at the cave wall in front of them. Behind them, a fire is burning, and between the prisoners and fire is a raised walkway. Now imagine that each day, a menagerie of objects crosses the walkway. Animals, and people carrying their wares to market. Their shapes create an intricate shadow play on the wall in front of the prisoners. This is the only world that the prisoners have ever known. The shadows and the echoes of unseen objects. Now, imagine that a prisoner is released. After some time adjusting to the blinding light, the freed prisoner will begin to experience the world outside of the cave for the very first time. And it is like nothing he could have ever imagined. With his new perception of the world, the man will of course want to return to his friends to share his incredible discoveries. But the prisoners cannot recognize their old friend. He appears as all things do. His voice is a distorted echo, and his body is a grotesque shadow. They cannot understand his fantastic stories of the world outside of the cave. To them, it will never exist. This, of course, does not make the world outside of the cave any less real.
When I think about the state of the universe right now, all I can do is laugh. All I can really do is have a giggle. Whatever I need to get me there, where I can laugh at shit, oh, trust me, the getting is God. To like, first of all, you have what is going on in your individual life, and then you have what the ethos is bringing into existence. But also, you have the knowledge of, oh wait, this is all a game. It's like Plato's allegory in this, like, the cave. Yes, the cave. The niggas in the cave. You didn't hear about them? And to have found the sunlights, to have found the thing that said, wait, actually, we're in a cave, y'all. We're literally in a cave of the mental, a cave of the creation of our own making. Thank you. It is, how you say, ridiculous to have to keep existing in a state. I need to hold this still, where it's an illusion. And I'm not even trying to sound all woo woo with it, like in this moment, because I mean it's literal science, quantum physics, like the existence that we know ourselves to be. I feel like I don't remember which teacher said this. I think it was my physics teacher, actually. Physics is the philosophy of the sciences. And as graduated philosophy major, I didn't just major in philosophy, but because I had to pay the bills. But at the end of the day, like, if I could have just chosen one major, I would have chosen philosophy, because it literally teaches you to question the way that humanity has begun to think. That doesn't pay the bills. This is a degree in pondering, for real. But I love to ponder. That's what I do. That's what I do when I lay awake at night. I'm not even just thinking about my own situation. I'm thinking about, wait, the university that we exist in, that we as humanity have chosen collectively to experience, why are we choosing collectively to allow suffering, to allow ourselves to suffer more and more every single day? This rise, oh my gosh, of AI is literally just telling me that y'all are not doing what the first beings ever there were to do was doing. Like, okay, follow me. The first people to exist, the one thing they had to do in and out every single day was ponder. Do you think they had like explanations written down about where they were from and why they had came to exist in this time and experience these things? No, they didn't. All they could do was ponder. What does that do when I put it there? And if I rub these things two together, oh look, fire! Oh my God, I created something! And it goes hand in hand with AI. It really does, because you are taking that need, that like this human thing of, what is that quote? They would write it all like in like the Greek hallways or whatever. Know thyself before you enter the door, or before you enter like your job, whatever it is. That's something that a lot of them would put on their walls. So let me fact check it, but I'm pretty sure. Whatever. Know thyself. You like there is no need to know thyself when you got this nigga answering all the questions for you. Every question you ever had is already answered before you even think about how you would solve it yourself. And if you don't think of that as in itself something that takes away your own autonomy, you're not thinking. And that's the fucking point, ladies and gentlemen. They don't want you to think. What is thinking? Yo, I'm angry. I'm pissed. Did you read my username? There's a reason. I'm watching y'all. I'm really just watching, front row seat. A failure after failure in mankind. Like, look at what is happening. The war in Iran, just the latest of a sequence. Why are y'all acting shocked about a man saying, oh yeah, I'll wipe out their bloodlines? Like, why y'all acting shocked? Didn't what his name, Netanyahu? Can I say that, internet? Can I say that, YouTube? Netanyahu? You know who? Like, come on. What did he just do? And are we getting any news? Because I went on a TikTok hiatus. When I tell you, when I first like re-downloaded it, the way that I would like, because I already had something set up where screen time blockage, whatever, and literally like going off of it after 30 minutes, my head like literally was hurting. I felt overstimulated. Not even a word. It was like, my goodness, I just took in so much information in so little time. And it's like, oh wow, that's a lot. Like a head rush, literally. But the more I did it, like the more often I did it, it's so easy to do. And you notice how quickly it was for me to escape right back into it. You know, I wasn't extreme with TikTok, but I was at a point that I was uncomfortable with. That's all it really took for me to be like, you know what, I need to reconsider my relationship with this thing, you know? Because there is a limit. uh, where am I going with this? Like, let me put it all together. Let me put it all together for you. Because we know my whole point is this whole attention span thing. They don't want you to think. That's got to be the title, truthfully. They don't, though. Even like, okay, people's mind just work differently when it comes to creating what they need to do, how they need to do it, whatever. Some people, like, I just feel like even when we look at like the State of the Union, you know, this is a point where the president can really speak to his people. And every single thing is scripted, teleprompted. He's just regurgitating the lines that are fed to him, literally like a puppet, just like the UK and them, Queen and the Kings and whoever the fuck, puppets of the elite, the elites, the people who have tricked you into giving off your resources, your labor, your souls. This is like, I say this all the time, literally. I always say that, but I don't. anyways, anyways. You think of selling your soul, it's often like this image, at least for me, it was like of a devil literally coming, like, here's the contracts, let me lay out the terms for you, and I will take this, and you will get this, and like, it is in the slow and steady moments. It is going to that job that is literally causing you panic attacks. You're crying in the bathroom on your breaks. Like, it's a job. It is a position where whether it's with people, friends, lovers, bosses, co-workers, where you're repeatedly putting yourself in these positions of extreme hurt and pain and not removing yourself from it. You got to make a choice. You got to make a choice. It's either they got to adapt or you got to adapt. Which one's coming first? You just got to be on the lookout. I'm not saying you got to have all the answers. That's, again, it is to ponder. It is to understand. It is to think like, right, wrong. It's not even right. Like, y'all are not. Ugh. It is so hard. That's how you know you're talking about something important, though, when like you stop making any sense. Like, you get it? Like, you're talking about something that takes some work to comprehend. Everybody, my whole point with like the whole scripts and everything is just like everything's so rehearsed. I'm going like full frontal, just like a stream of consciousness right now. You're just getting what I'm thinking. There is no rehearsal. I didn't even know what I was gonna talk about before I sat down. But that doesn't always happen. You have your different ways of being, but I'm just like everybody's giving y'all such a regimented like, and the whole point with like the State of the Union and everything is like they got linguistics professionals studying the ways that people think so that they can phrase things differently. Y'all think I'm joking? Think about Obamacare. Think about the fact that it's the Affordable Care Act, the things that they voted against because they didn't know the actual name. They didn't even know that it was affecting them. I took one class. I didn't even expect to take like it wasn't even something I was looking towards, but it was linguistics and politics. I just needed it to fulfill a requirement. And I learned so fucking much in that class. That professor had terrible reviews on whatever because she was a bitch. But I mean that in the most respectful ways, to be honest, because guess what? I learned. I learned. I learned something from her in that class and the way she set it up. So I can respect professors who and people who, okay, maybe they're not the loveliest, but they get it done. I don't understand people, and that's the people at your job. Like I'm telling y'all, these people who can't even back up what they talking about, but they always want to be in someone's face. Of course, it's because it's out of insecurity. Oh my gosh, I could just rant about anything and everything all day. There's so much. But my point is like, what is my point, yo? I'm just uh linguistics and politics, right? We like see a president abusing his position and the speeches and the ways everything is so rehearsed, everything is so particular in order to give across a certain image and literally to trick a certain people again, like Obamacare, Affordable Health Care Act. What else do they do? Like I'll put up examples or whatever. But my point is they frame things specifically, and the Democratic Party does it too. They want to be, oh, we're so like we get it, y'all. Yeah, we get it. It is just like faux blue heart like liberalism in its package. It is just a bunch of hypocrisy because there are these spaces where they straight up will treat you worse because it's like at least it's in other ones it's like okay, I know what I'm getting. You either like me or you don't. You'd be surprised, honestly. I've traveled from the north to the south. You'd be surprised who is actually treating you more than like of a human being than these people in these spaces that want to put up a Black Lives Matter posters. Post that little white free Palestine. I see you with you Starbucks now. I see y'all all with your Starbucks now. I see y'all all going back to it like this didn't just happen. But that's the problem because the whole movement boycott Starbucks. Why? For what? Y'all didn't even have like reason. Y'all didn't even have demands. Y'all didn't come with any demands. Not everybody, of course. There were people who actually took up the cause, but I'm talking about the biggest voices of the whole Free Palestine movement. It literally just became an aesthetic. This is what I mean. It's like y'all are just told what to think. And don't get me wrong, these were major atrocities. I feel like anybody with common sense, this is where I'm like, okay, y'all are stupid because this is just common sense. Yes, this was a genocide. They wiped out these people right in front of us. We see it on our cameras. This is something we've never been able to do before in human history. Like we've never been able to see on our cameras. Look at people being bombed. We used to have to trust the government to give us the information. They'd send us newspapers and say, this is what happened to those people. But as soon as visible media got involved, like think about the Black Panther movie. This like,
I'm smiling, but it ain't
but
funny.
think about them, like
I'm
they
smiling,
made
but it ain't
sure
funny.
to get the shit that was being done on camera, on tape, so people can't deny it, so people can't paint a different picture. Because this is important. The ability to use have this is important. The elites needed it to monitor us, but we can also use it as a tool to defeat them. I don't know what. I'm hoping. I'm just yelling, hoping somebody hear me. Mm. too deep. Yo, I had to take a chill today on this good Sunday. Hallelujah. It's been a minute since I posted. Look through if you're new. But anyways, because y'all, if I begin to tell you how things happen for me, but you know what? We trust new beginnings. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that. But throughout all of it, I always come back to this because there is something about creating something, doing something that just feels natural to me. And I talk to myself all the time. I don't care how crazy it is because sometimes I gotta consult I gotta consult someone that makes some sense. I gotta be like, hey sister, how you doing? But for real. To try to make sense of it. But of course, like we have our partners, we have our friends. I don't got a lot of them at this point because everybody was moving mad. Talk about it. Like we gotta get it together. Like there's so many attachment styles and none of them are secure. Everybody's a people pleaser, but not a lot of people being pleased, if you ask me. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So the math ain't mathing to me. The math ain't mathing. That's not what I saw. I saw a lot of selfish ass people making a lot of assumptions, making a lot of judgments, asking but not giving, and wasn't giving. Even now, like I think about the whole you the birthday trend. At first, of course, because I told you I was off TikTok. I got on right in the middle of it. So, but I caught on immediate. It didn't take much thinking. And then immediately I start to see, you know, and it is all that connected. It truly is. I saw in the news that they just announced like, oh, the transatlantic slave trade is an atrocity that cannot be, forgotten. I'm like, y'all just now figuring that out? And I have a different as a Nigerian American, I have a different perspective, because I feel like American voices, as they should be, are always heard. But Africa, that pain is silenced time and time and time and time again. It's like the pain of African Americans is on display. Everybody knows about it. There's too much going on, and then the people who did it just want to keep on moving past. Like I just saw something about Ruby Bridges doing not a TED talk, but she just got she got an Instagram, and we acting like it was all that long ago. And these people want to convince us that like no, no, don't worry about that. We your friends now. And some are down with it. The same people that have always been down with it are down with it. But at the same time, you can't deny that y'all have to pay for the sins of your ancestors. I don't know how else to put it. Like it's just like simple, I think it's karma. It's hard to talk about. It's hard to be honest about because it makes people uncomfortable when they think about their karmic debt. Yeah, you got some shit owed. You got blood on your hands. Your grandmother's grandmother has blood on her hands. You think about your connections. You tell me. I'm not telling. I don't care. Anyways, I know that the liberators, the first shall be last and the last shall be first, and then I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. We know what's coming. We know what's coming. And if you don't see what's happening right now, that's the other thing too. I feel like there's a lot of pessimistic voices behind like the transition that is transitioning. But I feel like we need to be reminded, especially the people of the 2000s and onwards. I'm not saying to leave okay, here's what I am saying. That was a different millennia. That's not just the 1900s. That's like the thousands as there were. Like that period of time, the 1,000 years. We are in a new millennia. We are of the new millennia. We exist. We were born into a new millennia. So I really don't give a fuck when a millennial or whoever, like, Yo, Gen Z everywhere is suffering. We don't even have a chance to be established. We just have to deal with this coming out the womb. And it's wild to me. It's wild to me. The government is something. And you want to tell me about us? Shut the fuck up, for real. Just don't talk to me. You don't get it. Anyways, we hear though, and that's the thing. It's like, okay, we hear, and we're not kids anymore. We're not the children that don't know what they're talking about. A lot of us have jobs, have been pushed into the job market, you know, or at least in the stage of adulthood in some way, shape, or form, or approaching that, where we are again and again, like actually honing in on our own autonomy. And some of us really do not be using our free will the way that we need to be. And that's what I think. Like when I see these institutions trying to be like, okay, like let's be past this distraction, war, bombs. Like just forget about Melania's random ass dropping of like. It's like there's so many things that are being done where it's like, okay, move past it, move past it. Like they're like bringing Epstein up, even when people are starting to seem to forget. It's like people are not this. They're not letting us forget about it. And I think that's important. This cannot just be glossed over. And it's like the Matrix will glitch as much as it needs to get us to be like, are y'all not talking about this? Are y'all really gonna speed past this and pretend? You know, like how much more can we really stay in this cave? It's getting overcrowded. We can just leave. We can just be like, fuck this. And that's when I think of Gen Z, this new generation. Like, we've been in this cave for millennia. Well, it's a new one. Are we gonna stay for another? And I don't think that's where this is headed. I think that's the opposite of where this is headed, and that's why they're panicking. You gotta see the bigger picture. They're going back to their old tricks. Like we've seen this literally 100 years from the 2020 was the 1920s, and wasn't that literally when the Spanish influenza came about? And then what was followed? Oh, the Great Depression, and then another World War. I'm like, I've seen this play before. I don't really like the ending, to be honest. To be honest, I gotta be honest. But again, that was then, and this is now. That's how I see it. We can choose to look at the path and be like, "Oh, we're cooked, brother. We're chopped." But I'm like, actually, we can choose. Actually, we have choice. And that's why I say like we're not kids anymore, because there is a certain, that's why we glamorize 2016 and all these eras of times where we could just be kids and be doing what kids do, before we have big person responsibilities. Not all of us, most of us was chilling to some extent. There are certain privileges that we enjoyed that are for our parents, and our parents didn't enjoy. Sure. Cool. But what did we lose? We are like I'm concerned that if we don't talk about the cost that got us here, we won't be able to pay for what it takes to get us out of it. And that's what it comes down to, really. Community. Community. Us really coming together and being like, you know what, brother? Come here. Let's do this. Let's figure it out together. Yes. And I don't care about them. I don't. Is that so bad? I care about us. And it's us or it's them. You choose. We know who has been in charge the last millennia, and we've seen what has been done. Are y'all happy with that? You want to let them continue to lead? Because that is the contract that comes with government. It is a people saying, we trust y'all to make decisions on our behalf. Are you liking the decisions they're making on our behalf? You ask these politicians, is it America first or Israel first? They can't give you a straight fucking answer. And the ones that do, okay, Mom Donnie, Let's see if it continues though, because I don't trust politicians. Politicians' trust is earned. I need to see it. I'm not just gonna stand you. Are you serious? And everybody's talking about, oh, this is about to be controversial. Why Kamala lost? Bitch couldn't stand on anything. Sorry, had to say it to her face, like lovingly, respectfully. You was wishy-washy. And that's what Democrats do. They slip around it. Yeah, if Kamala had won, it wouldn't have been so tumultuous. But I also don't think Kamala was supposed to win. Kamala knows how to win people over. She won us over. She was not liked at the beginning of the Biden administration, you know, when she was running against him. They had all these things to say about her. But over the course of it, she just like doing her thing. She won us all the way back. Those same people, you're telling me the people, if no, there are people responsible for image. Everything is calculated when it comes to the land of politics. You have to understand that. Those same people that could rebrand her image like that for us couldn't get together a good election campaign, couldn't convince major portions of the electorate to vote for her. And of course, there is misogyny involved in it. There always is. That's why they picked her to begin with. You know, it all seemed like there's ways that it could have been. And it's okay. Option one, they literally are doing this in a way to trick us into making sure that certain candidates win and like making sure that certain things are done in the institutions, or they are so sloppy and bad at this that it just seems so bad that I can't actually believe that the government, who had all this time, all these resources to pull something convincing together to trick us into trusting them, would do better than this. So it's like either way, I'm not liking. No, thank you. So it's looking like, as was written in the Declaration of Independence that allegedly founded this great nation we call ourselves. Yes, when the people decide that the government does not have the best interest of mind and are not properly leading and representing the people have the right, written right, okay, to take over that government and build a new one by force if they have to. With force if we have to. Everybody's talking about how those warehouse fires have literally resulted in more damage to those people that are just doing what they want than all those king marches combined. No king, and this is what I mean when I talk about free Palestine, boycott Starbucks, boycott McDonald's, no kings rally. Can y'all state like what you want and say we are not going to do this? It's not, oh, we're just gonna all walk out. And even with the boycotting, like, what was the purpose? How far were you willing to go? It is just something to say. And then now it's like, okay, wait, do we go back? Do we come back? Because nothing is outlined. We're not making any demands, and we're not making it uncomfortable. Sorry, I said we. Slip up. Y'all are now making it uncomfortable for them to continue to do things as they've been doing. This, y'all people, I can count the amount of POC I saw on Epstein's Island. So why is it never about that though? Why am I crazy for calling that out? Y'all don't want to be generalized. Y'all love generalizing people though. Y'all love doing that. That's your favorite pastime. Y'all, it's an elite sport at this point. But you never want to be, oh no, they not one of us. They ain't invited to this bland ass cookout we having. This substanceless cookout. They convinced y'all that noodles and tomato sauce was something that was the most, this is the epitome of cuisine. And we believe it. We believe it. Some of the best Italian, French restaurants in the world couldn't compare to the street food on the side of some small Southeastern Asian country. Like South American, like Africa, wherever you want to go. And these are the epitome of anything. Y'all got that one. But it's the truth. And that's the problem. Like, with the lack of critical thinking we're seeing in our society, comes a lack of acknowledging truth, agreeing on simple things, and being like, okay, this is what's true and this is what is not. Of course, a lot of truth is, what's the word? Based on your own perception of events. And we'll all remember things differently, do things differently, say things differently, and remember them differently. But nonetheless, there are some things that it's like, wait, we know what we're seeing. They can't deny it. They can't run away from it. They can't pretend it didn't happen. They're trying so hard to pretend it didn't happen. But it's like, again, the universe isn't letting us because it's time. It is time. What will it take for us to recognize that?